And if everyone can make sure you're on mute, please. All right, everyone, we are back on Zoom and we are live. Johnny Cisneros.
Hi, Judge. Judge, I spoke to my client. They had already given us a plea bargain offer that I didn't recall, and we've rejected it.
Who's your client?
Oh, I'm sorry, Edward Gill, Family Violence.
All right, so have you conferred on a trial date?
Yes, Your Honor. It's December, I'm sorry, let me see. November the 17th.
All right, is there a prosecutor available for us to put this on the record? And Mr. Gill, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there a prosecutor available?
I can, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, the court is calling 2000. Let me see if Brennan's here. Just 1 second.
Here, Judge.
All
I
right.
can do the quote. I can transcribe it, Judge.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, David. You're a jack of all trades. The court is calling 2020 CR 3692, State of Texas versus Edward Gill. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
David Martin.
And
the
Johnny Cisneros for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Gill?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
To my knowledge, I have, Your Honor.
All right. Did you receive an offer from the state?
We have.
And Mr. Gill, are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding, both parties have had a chance to confer on a jury trial date. That jury trial date will be November 17th. Is that correct, defense?
It is, Your Honor.
Any objection from the state to November 17th as a jury trial date?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense to November 17th as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gill, do you have any objections to November 17th as a jury trial date?
No, ma'am.
All right, your jury trial date will be November 17th. You'll need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. It's located at 300 De La Rosa on the 4th floor. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When is your jury trial date?
November 17th,
At what time?
9 o'clock,
Which court?
187, ma'am.
All right, your plea deadline date has expired, so the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements. If you decide to enter a plea, it must be open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cisneros. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. May we be excused.
Yes,
ma'am.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Robert Porter.
Yes, Your Honor. I just need to speak with Mr. Jones. He's
All right. Let me see which breakout room. Did you sign off and sign back in?
I did.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Jones, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 with your attorney. All right, who is the defense attorney who was waiting for Darrell Harris?
Judge, that was me. We should be ready on the plea for David Rocha.
All right, I'm gonna send you both to breakout room number 1. If you can make sure that the clerk has all your paperwork. So if you all both will go to number 1 and see if,
Judge, this was a continuation from, we started the plea, not last Friday, but the previous Friday. We had to reset so Mr. Rocha could go over it again with his immigration attorney.
okay. And has he had a chance to do that?
Yes.
Where's Mr. Rocha?
He is in custody. Yeesh.
Let me see where he is. Just give me one moment. Norma, could you make sure that they bring Mr. Rocha out, please?
He's
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm on L4.
I didn't
Okay,
get that.
why are you being silent? All righty. People, you cannot keep your appearance a secret. Brenda, I'm not going to say anything. I do not want to jinx it.
Don't say it.
But is it going to mess up because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the computer is working well? All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 5521, State of Texas versus David Octavio Rocha. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Darrell Harris for the state, Your Honor.
For the defense?
Matthew Allen.
And are you Mr. Rocha?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objections, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
Judge, actually, if possible, could, and I apologize for not mentioning it earlier, could you, myself and Daryl go into a breakout room to discuss something on the case?
Of course we can. And you know why we can do that? Because today is a Monday. All
Roger
right.
that.
Yeah. I'll send you to breakout room number 4. Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Judge, you're on mute.
Mute it.
Thank you. We're back on the record. Mr. Roach, I'm going to show you a document that's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Roach, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? State?
You're on mute, Dar. You're still muted.
Apologies to the court. Yes, Your Honor. Wish to proceed on the indictment as written.
Mr. Roach, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment, Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what your charge is with is fraudulent use of possession of identifying information less than 5 elderly? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court would find you guilty and could sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, Your Honor.
We were here for you to enter a plea at our last setting, but at that time, we stopped the plea because it was discovered that you were not a U.S. citizen. Have you had the opportunity to speak with an immigration attorney about your status?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did your attorney advise you of the consequences, including no contest or guilty of the application
Yes, Your Honor.
of federal immigration law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand your attorney's advice as it relates to entering a plea in this case and your immigration consequences from entering a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page, the entire page with your attorney? Did you understand all of the conditions of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Most importantly, did you understand that if you fail to appear for sentencing, you will be subject to the full range of punishment? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, have you had a chance to review the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, have you had a chance to review the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the plea bargain agreement that the court has is in its possession, is that the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Everyone, just give me one moment, please. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
could you have the interpreter come in so that the clerks can swear in Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to show you what is outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting, what are the terms, your request for length of time of community supervision? The box is checked, but is blank.
My apologies to the court, Your Honor. The state is recommending a period of 2 years supervision.
All right, and defense, was that discussed with you, the 2 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection from either side to the court writing in the fact that the state is requesting 2 years deferred adjudication? I'm sorry, 2 years of community supervision.
No,
No
Your Honor.
objection, Your Honor. So move.
And as a part of your plea bargaining agreement, Mr. Rocha, just so I want you to understand, the state is not going to make any recommendation that you receive deferred adjudication. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be no contact with Brenda Boyd, no relation to the judge. Margarita Seeley, Seeley, or any members of their family and household. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
Yes, Your Honor, should be attached with the stipulated evidence that was provided to counsel.
No objections.
So are you offering state's exhibits 1 and attachments, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Norma, which date are we coming back on this?
I'm sorry, Judge, give me 1 second. You can come back on. You can come back on October 11th, Judge.
All right, your sentencing will take place on October 11th at 9 a.m. If you are out of custody, you need to appear in court on that date. Is there anything else from either side?
Yes, Judge, on the sentencing, we had, I believe, put in the plea paperwork about some
It's
things that
above
we're
the, yes,
trying to
Your Honor,
get-
it's above the plea, it's a part of the plea as to,
I don't see what you all are talking about. Because is this, you're saying this is a plea as it relates to whether or not he's going to be on bond?
no, Your Honor, as to
the condition that we had previously spoke about.
the breakout room, Judge.
Yes,
That
so
would-
what are you asking me for? I don't understand.
The spirit is that sentencing occurs after he complies with that condition.
All right, well, we're going to keep it on October and we'll see if there actually is going to be a trial on that date. Because we don't know.
Okay, and Judge, then related to that matter is his bonds in the 2 cases right now, obviously he's taking a plea in one of them, are listed at 150,000. The prosecutors, they're obviously recommending probation. We'll be asking for deferred, but that's a later discussion. One of the issues is Mr. Rocha and his wife and children live in Florida. Arrangements, Mr. Harris and I have spoken about arrangements for Mr. Rocha to come back for his sentencing.
Okay, let me stop you right there. So this defendant who went missing, that the state had to try to find, who had these pending cases, you all are agreeing that he goes to Florida. That's what I'm hearing. Because I'm telling you right now, if anyone goes to Florida and they come back and they are not able to be found, of course, I will keep an open mind as it relates to jury trials and continuances. But there we go.
And Judge, part of that would be if Mr. Rocha has a passport, surrender that with weekly check-ins. And then obviously one of the conditions that the court has already spoken to Mr. Rocha about is not only would he not even be considered for deferred, but wouldn't get probation, he'd be subject to the full range of punishment on this case. I believe that that's motivation for Mr. Rocha to stay in constant contact and to fulfill his agreement, or else.
I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is because this is the same person that the state said they had been searching for years. Am I wrong with that? Is my memory fading me? And I believe my mind is a steel trap. But this defendant had pending cases. Nobody could find him. Then all of a sudden he was found. And now we're saying it's okay for him to go to Florida.
Your Honor, the court is accurate. There was a warrant out active the entirety of the time. He was returned. I will simply say, as Mr. Allen has raised, should, given his status with having entered the plea, the defendant is making a bond recommendation, and his family and lodging is not within Bexar County jurisdiction. Given that he has entered this plea, and where he failed to appear, a warrant would ensue. I'm also.
Then if there is some other trial, the state,
sir.
more likely than not, would be asking for a continuance. Am I right?
Your Honor, I recognize my credibility to the court.
No, I mean, it's not your credibility, Mr. Harris. I think your credibility is of the highest.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
it's just that I'm being asked to allow some defendant to go to Florida when this is the same defendant that has been missing for well beyond a year. Let me see what the date is on has been missing, I'm assuming since 2015.
Yes, Your Honor.
But be available by phone.
And he was only made available in 2020, so he's been missing for 5 years. If
Yes, Your Honor.
you all want that, put that in writing. If you all want him to be allowed to go to Florida and you have no objections to that, put it in writing. But what I'm saying to everyone is I want it in writing that the state agreed that this defendant, who's been missing since 2015 and only recently made an appearance in 2020, that the state and the defense are okay with him going to Florida. So if he doesn't come back, mind you, the court will keep an open mind, but if he doesn't come back for trial and a motion for continuing is presented to me, the court will remember that he was being allowed to go to Florida and he's been missing since 2015. So if everyone can put that in writing and send it to an email to the court will surely consider that.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, if there's just one moment, please. All right, if there is nothing else from either side, just send me your agreement in the email and the court will sign it. So if you'll include that in a agreed order, Mr. Allen, the court will sign it.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Rocha, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Probation will tell you what you need to do in order to be successful on probation. Although I haven't sent it to you yet, she'll tell you what appointments you need to make. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay.
Judge, are we doing PSI and TAP?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right, and let me find you, Mr. Allen. You're already informed, Mr. Allen, and Mr. Rocha, I'll send you to number 4. And then Jorge Valle, thank you so much for coming back. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with, I believe, Mr. Solis.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Solis, the client for Bridget Garza.
Señor Solís, ¿me escucha?
Okay, we should.
Oh my God.
It's Monday, right? It's like, what else can happen?
No, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Santana Solis is 14B, Judge, if you're trying to.
All right, but he's not responding. Oh, there he is. 14B, can you please send him to breakout room number 5, please?
Señor Solís, dígale al oficial que la juez lo está poniendo en otro cuarto. Si lo puede poner en otro cuarto.
And Robert, I'm going to send you to 5 so you can swear Mr. Solis in.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
And Jorge, I'm sending you to number 5 as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let me just find you on the screen, Jorge. I'm sorry.
Okay, over here.
There we are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cornelius Cox.
Yes, Judge.
Yes. Who do you have?
I just need to, if I can get my client in a breakout room with the paperwork. That's
Who's your client?
DeMille Thomas. DeMille Thomas.
All right, did you already give the information to the court coordinator?
Well, he's in jail.
No, I mean, did you tell the court coordinator what your plea is so they can give you the paperwork? All right, I'm sending you to number 8. Abelardo Garza, are you the one who's with Mr. Cox on this?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sending you to number 8 as well.
I'm just a tag along.
Well, I mean, sometimes tagging along is good.
It is in this case.
All right, I've sent you to number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Your Honor,
Yes,
may I be excused to confer with Mr. Allen?
yes. Do y'all want to confer in a breakout room?
Well, he's with his client, and then I presume he and I will talk about that email document.
All right, thank you very much. Kelly Piddle.
I'm here, Judge.
Yes. Rodriguez.
I conferred with Marcus, Judge. We need a new trial date of October 15th.
All right, is there a prosecutor available?
I am, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 1432, State of Texas versus Christopher Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
And Kelly Piddle for Christopher Rodriguez.
Brenda, you know what? I think it's something with someone's computer, right? And is there a Christopher Rodriguez here?
He is present, Judge. Chris, if you can unmute yourself, please.
All right, Brenda, off the record, why is everybody acting as though this is the first day that we've ever had Zoom? I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Your Honor. There he is, Judge.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any objection with this taking place by Zoom?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Defense, have you received all the discovery?
Yes.
Was an offer tendered?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you rejecting the state's offer?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, your new trial date will be October 11th. It's the court's understanding that both the state and the defense conferred and agreed on that date. Any objections to October 11th as a trial date, state?
I don't believe so, Your Honor, but was it the 15th?
Oh, is it? Thank you.
Marcus told me the 15th, Judge. I just
All
don't
right, no problem. It's a Monday.
Okay, no worries. I just didn't know which one was right.
Any objection to October 15th as a jury trial date, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objections to October 15th as a jury trial date?
No, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez, any objection to October 15th as a jury trial date?
No, ma'am, Your Honor. Thank you very
All right,
much.
you're welcome. Your jury trial date. Israel Castro. Off the record.
I'm here, Your Honor.
No, Israel Castro.
Yes, Your Honor, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. In what world is it okay to wear a baseball cap in court?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Nope, that's not my question. My question, in what world is it okay to wear a baseball cap in court?
It's not okay in any world, Your Honor.
So why are you doing that?
I had just stepped outside to grab something and I came back in. I had a hat on when I was in the room and it was my mistake, Your Honor.
Do you want to come downtown and find parking?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Do you want to come downtown and face the one-way streets?
No, Your Honor.
Do you want to come down and pay for parking?
No, Your Honor.
Then you need to behave as though you don't want to do that. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Brenda, we're back on the record. Mr. Rodriguez, your jury trial date will be October 15th at 9 a.m. You'll need to appear.
Hey, Christopher, turn on your screen and your microphone, please.
You need to unmute yourself, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Stop touching your screen. Do you
Yes, ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge,
Your court date is October 15th.
Thank you, Your
You will
Honor.
need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. It's located at 300 De La Rosa, and you need to be dressed for trial. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When is your trial date?
October 15th at 9 a.m. at the 187th Court on 300 De La Rosa, Your Honor.
All right, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. If you decide to enter a plea, the court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Piddle, is there something you need to discuss?
yes, Judge. I had e-filed a motion to remove GPS. I conferred with Marcus on it. Marcus is okay with it going down to tracking only, but we're asking it to be completely removed. So do you want me to get with Norma to get a hearing date on that, or how would you like me to proceed?
Yes, if you will speak with Ms. Ferguson, and she can give you a date this week.
Okay, we can do that.
And you can chat with her in the box, and she'll get that date for you before you leave.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, are we ready on Santana Solis?
I'm ready, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna see if the spotlight works, because Brenna is going to need this because we have so many people.
I'm sorry. I need to tell him to tell the officer to put it on whatever
Yes.
Spanish or.
Norma, can you let the officer know that he needs to put it on interpretation? Just give me a moment, please.
Yes. It's for Solis, correct?
Yes.
Santana Solis, yes.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I can still hear everything. Am I excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Mhm. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
The Monday, Your Honor. Thank you so much for everything.
All right, you're excused. You can leave.
I'm trying to get out of here.
Let me help you out with that.
Thank you. Thank
Ooh. Brenna. Mr. Villarreal, do you want to go back to your cell? Unmute your cell. Brenna, this is turning into like maybe romper room. Mr. Villarreal, unmute yourself. No. Stay seated. Press the space bar. It's the longest key on the computer. Brenna, have you ever had a lot of children who are in preschool, like,
Miss,
say, for example, you're dealing with
Your Honor,
10
you
children under 4?
Yes.
Mr. Villarreal, how old are you?
I turned 50 in June, Miss.
All right, why are you behaving as though you're a toddler?
Because, Miss, I admire you. You make this Monday a beautiful Monday. I sat here, I've been here since 5 o'clock this morning, and you make this day one of my
All right,
best
Mr.
days.
Villarreal, let me tell you something. You are like the child when the parents say, don't get a tattoo, but then the tattoo says, love mom.
That's why I kept covering myself up.
So Mr. Villarreal.
I kept covering myself up. I didn't want you to see my tattoo.
All right, just give us a moment, Mr. Villarreal, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Brenda, you know how when your child comes to you with a tattoo after you told them not to get it, and then it says, I love mom. You're really upset, but what can you say? It says, I love mom. All right, we're gonna try this. Bridget, could you start your video? Thank you.
I'm here.
All right, let's hope
I can't
this
promise
works.
anything. Okay.
Nothing will be promised. It's just one of those days.
Make sure everyone's on English. That needs to be on English.
Yes, could everyone please turn on English?
And then mute original.
All right, so just to test before we go on the record, Benton, if you could say something, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Benton Leachman for the state.
No, you need to mute. your original audio and put it on English.
Oh, Judge, this is new to me, Judge. Sorry, I haven't
No,
done.
Go
Can you
to,
hear
do you
me?
see where it says the world button?
Oh, okay.
Click on that,
Okay.
go to English, and then
Okay.
do mute original.
Mute original.
There you go.
Yes, okay. Bridget, just a testing.
Test, test, 1, 2, 3.
Awesome, we are good to go. Whew.
What about Mr. Solis?
Oh, the interpreter will be able to hear him. Oh, he needs to unmute.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Sí,
you.
ya
Mr.
estuvo.
Solis, could you say something for us, please?
¿Me escucha? ¿Me escucha? No se escucha.
You're right here, right?
Judge,
¿Me escucha?
Awesome. Court
Sí.
is calling
Sí, dice sí.
2019
Dice sí.
CR
Sí, sí.
7567, State of Texas versus Santana Solis. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state,
Yes, Your Honor. Benton Leachman for the state.
for the defense?
Bridget Garza for defense.
And are you Mr. Solis?
Sí.
We have an interpreter. If the interpreter could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm
Okay.
you will faithfully translate from Spanish
La
into
interpreter of me.
English and into English from Spanish, so help you God? All right, Mr. Solis, all of the documents
Sí.
I'm going to go over with you are in English. Were those documents explained to you by your attorney in Spanish?
Sí. Sí.
Ms. Garza, were you able to communicate with your client in Spanish?
I have, Your Honor. Yes,
And do you speak Spanish fluently?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, we are proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor. No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Solis, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video? And did you understand it and electronically sign it?
Sí.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Ms. Garza, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Solis, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on count 3, but a lesser included charge of count 3.
And the lesser included charge?
The lesser included charge is still online solicitation. However, we've waived the under 14 language.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor. That is correct.
All right, Mr. Solis, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Court's Admonishment of Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense in count 3 of online solicitation of a minor with intent to arouse or gratify? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
You need a little mayo with the tacos,
Sí.
with the torta.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Sí.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Sí.
Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Sí.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Sí.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Solis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Mr. Solis, Mr. Solis, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Sí.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Counsel, did you advise the defendant of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
I have, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
I have, Your Honor. Yes, it did.
Do you believe he understands the consequences of entering a plea in this cause?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Solis, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Sí.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Sí.
And do you understand the consequences of entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Sí.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
No.
Mr. Solis, did you understand that you entered into a plea bargain agreement with the state?
Sí.
Did you understand, according to that plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 3 in the indictment? Did you understand?
Sí.
Did you understand that the state is going on the lesser included offense of online solicitation of a minor with the intent to arouse or gratify as a 3rd-degree felony? Did you understand?
Sí.
Did you understand that the state is requesting and you have agreed that your punishment for that offense will be 3 years in the prison?
Sí.
And a $1,500 fine?
Sí.
Ms. Garza, is that the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
I'm sorry, Judge. Were you referring to me?
I'm sorry, I look towards you and then I'm like, defense, yeah. It's just because your name is just Benton. Usually they will have ADA before it.
Apologies.
And because it's Monday. So,
all right.
Dave, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor. I should also mention that because this is an online solicitation case, it is a mandatory sex offender registration under Chapter 2, and that is a 10-year registration.
All right. Mr. Solis, did you understand that there is a registration? Legally,
Sí.
you must register. All right, knowing that you have to register as a sex offender, do you wish to continue with this plea, Mr. Solis?
No.
All right, are you requesting a jury trial, Mr. Solis?
No.
Then do you wish to continue with this plea?
Sí.
All right, Mr. Solis, the law says that you have to register as a sex offender based upon this plea. Do you understand?
Sí.
And that registration is for 10 years. Do you understand?
Sí.
Knowing that you will have to register, do you still wish to continue with this plea?
Sí.
Did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal?
Sí.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Sí.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I believe the only motions filed, Judge, were trial motions.
All right, then Mr. Solis, to the lesser included offense of online solicitation of a minor with intent to arouse or gratify, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No me opongo.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments. They're included as attachments on the case.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Solis, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Sí.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Sí.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we are asking the court to follow the agreement that we worked out with the state of Texas. Also, we are asking the court to give Mr. Santana Solis credit for the time that he's already been in custody. Specifically, Your Honor, he was arrested back on November 8th, 2018. And myself, as an officer of the court, I have done some research, and it appears that there was a lapse in credit. And because he did have an ICE hold, he posted bond. However, he was never transferred to ICE. He was always at the Bexar County Jail. But there's a lapse in the credit for the time that he served. So we're asking the court to give him credit as of November 9th of 2018 because he's been in actual consecutive custody at the Bexar County Jail.
State any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, I'll give him credit for any time served since November 9th, 2018.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, then the court's entire sentence then, 3 years prison, $1,500 fine, time and money and run concurrent, Chapter 62 registration, give you credit for any time served, and the court will show that your credit begins since November 9th, 2018. Mr. Solis, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Sí.
I have 8 months back time right now.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I think because it was just a felon in possession,
Sí.
I don't think it is 3G. I think,
All right, if there's nothing else, then the record will be closed.
Nothing
Good luck
further
to
from
you.
the state, Your Honor.
All right, anything else from the defense?
No, nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, thank you for your patience. As always, Mr. Valle, thanks for coming in. And Mr. Solis, good luck to you.
Igualmente, gracias.
Norma, you can let them know 14 we can go back. Thank you.
Okay. Buena suerte, señor Solis.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have an announcement whenever the court's ready.
Just one moment. Who are the parties on Vanessa Lee Morales? Vanessa?
Kind of bored, Judge.
Who's the defense counsel?
Taylor. Taylor, and I'm trying to contact the court for back time before she enters a plea of 2, but nobody answers the phone. I have checked Ms. Ferguson and the clerk, but no response yet. I just need to get a number of days and then we're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
All right, then you need to put that in the chat box and they'll get with you on that.
I
Mr.
did.
Cox? They'll get with you on that. Mr. Cox?
Judge, we went over some of the paperwork, but I'm still waiting for the appeal and the paperwork from the coordinator. I haven't gotten it yet. I got it from the state, but I haven't had anything. I called and spoke to Lupe, who said that he was going to try to get her to send it, but I haven't received it yet.
You will get the paperwork.
Mr. Healy, I just tried you.
Everyone, use the chat box. Mr. Healy, your paperwork will be sent to you. Mr. Cox, your paperwork will be sent to you. Cal Ernst.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Francisco Rocha. This is his plea deadline date. He has rejected the state's offer, and we'd like to set this case for trial. I do intend on filing a motion to suppress. I would argue that it is dispositive. So I don't know if the court, we want to do it beforehand.
Well, I mean, is your client filing waiver of jury trial?
No, he wants to go forward with the jury trial.
All right.
I don't know that it is
that motion
dispositive.
It's not going to be dispositive. I'm sorry, what, Miss?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, based on our conversations, maybe I misunderstood, but I don't feel like it is dispositive.
Well, yeah, and that's just I would argue that it is based off based off the initial stop would be my argument.
So, well, here's the thing. I think defense is saying it's going to be dispositive if I rule in the defense's favor. If I don't rule in the defense's favor, then it's not dispositive. Am I correct in my interpretation or assumption?
Yeah, that would be my. Yes,
so
if you ruled in my favor, then anything happened. Stop. That would
so
be
I'm going to send you all to. That's okay. So I'm going to send you all to breakout room. It's Monday. I'm going to send you all to breakout room, and you can confer with the state on a trial date, and that motion will be ran with trial.
Okay.
You're welcome. So let me see what breakout room is open. I'm going to send you to number 9. And Ms. Ferguson will meet you in 9 to give you a trial date. All right, Roland Garcia. Oh, I'm sorry. Just one moment. Attorney Colin Hobbs has had his hands raised for a while.
Thank you, Judge. On my case that we're here on this afternoon, Francisco Tristan, we do have a new plea bargain agreement today. I believe we're past this plea acceptance deadline, but I'm hoping to see if the court will entertain honoring a plea bargain if it sees fit without us having to go open for 2 reasons. One, I presented some information to the state today about some health issues that my client's mother is dealing with. Obviously, there's a pandemic going on as well.
Not to interrupt you, but to slightly interrupt you. Is your client accepting a plea today?
He will be, Your Honor.
All
I
right,
want to be
let's
able to
get it
tell
done.
him that it's not open, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood. Thank you.
All right, Alfonso Cabanas and then Roland Garcia.
Good afternoon, Judge. I conferred with David Martin via chat, and on my client, Aaron Trevino, it's a family violence case. There is a case that's unindicted, or I'm sorry, just got indicted, and David has not reviewed it. So I need to get on a breakout room with Mr. Trevino to let him know about the case, what's going on, and then ask for a reset, Judge.
All right, just one moment. When Ms. Ferguson comes back in the main room, just interrupt me and we'll get you a 30-day reset. And Mr. Aaron Trevino, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5 to meet with your attorney. Roland Garcia.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here for Anthony Villarreal. It's a bond hearing.
All right, have you conferred with the state?
I've conferred with them via email and they are not in agreement.
Okay. Who's the prosecutor on this?
Marcus.
All right, are you ready to proceed, Mr. Sanders?
Yes, Judge.
You know what, Brenna? I just discovered, you know what, you're right. It's certain people who have not updated their system. And so that pretty much throws everybody off, I think. Let me see. All right, is your client, obviously, is your client in custody?
He is, Your Honor.
Do you see, is he 14C or CH8? 14C? Ah, hello, Mr. Villarreal. All right, the court is calling CM 089017, State of Texas versus Anthony Villarreal. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Roland Garcia, Your Honor. And
And
Your
are you Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're Anthony Villarreal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding. Oh, Mr. Villarreal, there's no need to cover up your tattoos.
I feel ugly just showing them off like that. Like, sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry. I just want to respect you, miss.
No. When I said that, I meant because you said, oh, no, I'm just happy to be in court. And that's what people do when they get tattoos, when their mom tells them not to get a tattoo. And then it's like, how can you be upset with them if the tattoo says, I love mom, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by it. I have no problem with anyone who has tattoos.
You said a statement earlier about the teacher taking the teacher an apple. Well, today's one was my son's first day, and I really wanted to be there.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Villarreal, we're proceeding by video. State, any objections with this hearing taking place by video?
No, Judge.
Defense, any objection with us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Villarreal, do you have any objections with this hearing taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion to modify bond conditions?
Yes, Judge.
And State, you're in objection to defense's motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense is your motion. I'll let you proceed.
Your Honor, also last week I filed a application for writ of habeas corpus seeking a personal bond or reduction of bail in this case. I had requested from Norma to have that heard at the same time. I did not hear back from her. I did serve the state with that writ as well.
All right, let me see if I have that motion. Defense, I'm sorry, State, do you have that motion?
Judge, it should be on your desk, Judge.
It is not.
Oh, let me go check, Judge, because you should have.
All right, State, do you have that motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, State, are you ready to proceed on both motions?
Yes, Judge, that's fine.
Yes. All right, Mr. Garcia,
Your Honor, for the,
could you, I'm going to put in the chat box my email address. Could you email that motion to me? Because I don't have a copy of it.
sure.
And in that email, if you could include the state's attorney as well. All right, I just sent you in the chat my email address.
Did you want both of them or just the writ?
I just need the writ. I have the motion to modify bond conditions, but I don't have the writ.
Judge, while y'all are getting that over to you, can someone put me in my room with Francisco Tristan by chance? So we can start going over paperwork.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Tristan, if you'll go back to breakout room number 4, and Mr. Hobbs, if you'll go back to 4. That breakout room is still available.
Okay, Judge, I just emailed the file stamp copy.
Thank you. My computer is slow, so it's going to take a little bit of time for me to receive it. Just give me a moment. All right, I've just received it. And for the record, Mr. Sanders is included in that email. So the court then has 2 motions. The court has a motion to modify bond conditions, and the court has an application for writ of habeas corpus seeking personal bond or reduction of bail. State, are you ready to proceed on both motions?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Thank you. At this time, I would call Rosa Villarreal.
And let me see. All right, Ms. Villarreal, if you could unmute yourself. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to speak up.
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand.
Don't cry,
Could you
baby.
state your name for the record, please?
My name is Rosa Maria Hernandez de Leon. Let me turn off the fan. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Rosa Maria Hernandez de Leon.
All right, defense?
Thank you. Rosa, how is it that you know Mr. Villarreal?
We have been together for almost 10 years.
Sorry, almost 10 years, is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay. And in those 10 years that you've known him, has he been in trouble with the law?
no,
But you are aware that he does have a past from before the 10 years, correct?
yes,
Okay, but in the 10 years that you've been with him, he's been able to stay out of trouble, is that correct?
yes. How he does his work and come home, eat and go to sleep and go back to work.
And so where is it that he was working prior to his arrest?
It's called Mega Furniture Warehouse Distribution Center.
Okay, and what did he do there?
He unloaded 18-wheelers and furniture and put them together, put furniture together.
Now, did you live together?
Yes, we've lived together
How long have you lived together?
since 2012.
Okay, so for about 9 years now, y'all live together. You have any children together?
He's raising my 4 children. My little one thinks he's his real dad, though.
How many and you said you have 4 children. What are their ages?
My oldest is 23. My daughter is 22, and my youngest daughter is 17, and our baby is 10.
So how many are living at home with you?
3.
Three?
Mhm.
Okay,
My
so it's
3
three
youngest.
youngest? Okay. And do you work outside the home?
Stop. You're gonna have to repeat the last question because I can't take both y'all. The audio cuts out.
Okay, my 3 youngest live with me. I have 4 children. My oldest is 23. He lives with his grandpa up the street. My daughter Brianna is 22. She lives here at home. My daughter Esmeralda, 17. She's a senior. She lives here at home. And our baby, who's 10, he lives here at home. He's a 5th grader.
And do you work outside of the home, ma'am?
No, I'm disabled.
And what is the nature of your disability?
Well, I need neck and back surgery. I have heart problems, and I recently got diagnosed with lupus.
And so with the pandemic going on, is it very difficult for you to go outside and with your health conditions?
It's scary. It's very scary. And the only thing I know how to do is work as a medical assistant back office. Been doing that for over 20 years.
But when is the last time you've worked in that profession?
About a year ago.
And is there any other income coming into the house other than what Anthony was able to provide?
My daughter, my 22-year-old daughter works at Circle K.
So without Anthony's income, are you able to support your family?
No, I'm on the verge of losing my house and my car.
So are you currently, is your house on mortgage right now? You're buying it?
I'm buying it owner to owner.
Owner to owner, okay. And you said your vehicle too? Your vehicle is facing repossession now?
Yes.
Do you have any other vehicles?
My dad gave Anthony a truck, but with the freeze plugs popped out, and it cost about $2,000 to fix, which I don't have.
So that vehicle is pretty much worthless now, correct?
Yes, until it's fixed.
Do you have any other land or any other houses that you own other than the one you're buying right now?
No, this is our home. We've been here 18 years.
Does Anthony own any real estate, any stocks, bonds, retirement accounts, anything that he could get a loan from?
No.
No. Do you have any stocks, bonds, or any kind of savings accounts that you could get a loan against?
No, I wish. No, I don't.
And you know that his bond right now is presently set at $75,000, correct?
I do know that.
Have you talked to bondsmen about how much it would cost to get him out?
About most of them want 10%, $7,500.
Do you have anywhere close to $7,500?
No, not at all.
Now, I know you had talked with family about trying to get money together, trying to raise money, trying to borrow money. Is that correct?
Yes, we had a benefit plate, so this weekend.
Okay, and how much money did you raise that you could put towards his bond?
We raised $160.
$160. And did you have any other money set aside or any money at all that you can put towards a bond?
No, I have asked family, and they said they might be able to help me, but they haven't given me a definite yes or how much.
Now, let's go back to his work. Do you know if he were able to get released on bond, would he be able to get back to work?
Yes, they told me to tell him that he needs to hurry up before they replace him.
Okay. So if he stays in jail too long, he's going to lose his job.
They'll replace him, yes. He was working towards getting a supervisor position with a raise.
Okay, ma'am. And if he were to be released on bond, you know that he's got a GPS monitor. If he were required to keep the monitor on, would you make sure that he followed any rules that the judge put in place to make sure that he's on home for curfews or not going into places he's not supposed to?
Yes, I usually don't ever have any problems with him. He changed his life when he came out, and he promised and he swore he never wanted to go back.
And you mean get out of prison from when you met him 10 years ago?
Yes.
And
my kids love him. They cry for him, and I don't know what to tell them.
And this might seem like a silly question, but I have to ask it. Are you afraid of him?
No. I'm afraid to lose him.
And are you afraid of your children being around him?
No, my kids love him.
And where is it that you live, ma'am?
306 Morelia, San Antonio, Texas, 78237. This is our home.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
State.
Thank you, Judge. Mrs. Villarreal, I just have a few questions for you.
Mhm.
When you met Mr. Villarreal, was he on parole?
No.
Okay. Had he just gotten out of TDC?
Yes.
Are you aware of what he went to prison for?
Yes.
What was that?
Burglary,
Okay. And how long did he serve?
9 years.
And if the judgment says 8, would that be?
He was supposed to do 8 years, but he got an extra charge in there.
Okay. Was that extra charge the possession of a controlled substance case?
No, I think it was a fight.
Okay. Are you aware of any other cases that he's had besides the Berg have?
Yes, we actually printed out like his whole records not that long ago when he was I want to say about a year ago when he was looking for another job, and they wanted to do a background check. So they said they would go back 7 years, and I think they ended up going back like 20 years. So he didn't get that job, but when we looked at it, we saw everything.
Okay, so you're aware that he was on probation for burglary back in 1988.
Yes, I have it printed out and saved on my phone.
And then after that, he went to state jail in 2000 on a less than a gram. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, he was in and out of prison for a while.
Okay. And then the most recent trip was the Berg Hab in 2005.
The who?
The burglary.
Excuse me, just one second. Mr. Villarreal, you are not allowed to give answers to this witness. This witness is on the witness stand. You're not, if your attorney wants to call you as a witness, your attorney will call you as a witness. Do you understand? All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. The burglary of a habitation, that was in 2005 that he was sentenced?
I believe the date that it happened was in 2000. I'm not sure what date he was sentenced though.
Okay. Are you aware why he's in custody now?
Yes, I called their county and they told me why.
Okay. And so you're aware that it's alleged that he essentially committed a bank robbery, correct?
Yes, and they questioned me and everything.
Okay. It's alleged that he pointed a handgun at a Wells Fargo bank employee and demanded money via a note. Were you aware of that?
That's what I was told, yes.
And this happened back
About 2
on
weeks
August
ago.
10th?
About 2 weeks ago.
What banks have you contacted in attempts to get a loan?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, did he ask what banks she had contacted?
Yes. What banks or what efforts have you made in an attempt to get a loan?
I don't have good credit because I have an outstanding student loan. So I haven't tried to call any banks. I know I wouldn't qualify.
Okay. And what about family members? Have you asked them if they could raise any money? But
We've been trying to raise money, yes.
okay. Have you asked if any of them could take out a loan or a mortgage on their house? Or
I don't have, I mean, my family, my kids and I and Anthony are really close to each other, but other than that, my mom and my dad, but I'm not, how do you say it? We're not rich. We don't have a lot of money. No, I haven't asked my father or my mother, but I know they don't have it or probably would get it.
Pass the witness, Judge.
All right, defense, any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness.
No more witnesses.
All right, state, any witnesses?
No, Judge, we would just offer a couple of exhibits. The judgment for his burglary of a habitation and the affidavit for the arrest warrant for this case that he's being held on.
Any objections from the defense?
I've not received any proposed exhibits for this hearing.
All right, State, if you'll tender those exhibits to the defense, and defense, I'll give you a chance to review those exhibits.
They were just sent to everyone, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cox, have you received your paperwork? You're on mute.
Judge, I think
I just called over your chambers twice since we talked, but I haven't gotten them. I keep checking my email.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and Ms. Ferguson will meet you in that breakout room. If you'll please go back to breakout room number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
And Judge, we have the date squared away with Mr. Rocha.
All right, thank you. Defense, do you need time to review those documents?
If I could just have like 2 minutes, Judge.
Okay.
And I apologize to interrupt, Your Honor, but I'm ready when the court is on Vanessa Morales now. Thank you so much.
Well, everyone, the court will be ready when the court is finished with this hearing. And the court will take attorneys in the order in which they'll appear. And the court will not take attorneys out of the order in which they appeared.
Your Honor, I have reviewed those documents and I have no objection for the limited purposes of this hearing.
All right, we're going to go back on the record. And I believe, Brenna, you were able to take down defense's last response with no objections. Is that correct?
Yes, I got it.
All right. So defense's exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted.
Sorry, those are state's exhibits.
Sorry, thank you. It's one of those days, Brenna. All right, state's exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. And the court will hear argument. Defense is your motion. You may start.
Your Honor, in 2 parts. One is that the bond is, in my opinion, it's unconstitutionally too high. It's oppressive. It's being used as an instrument of oppression in violation of the law and in violation of Mr. Villarreal's due process and rights to bond. The bond set at $75,000 is astronomical given this family's circumstances. You heard from his wife's testimony that the most they were able to raise was less than $200. I think that even using some of the budget and using some of the more generous bondsmen in town, that there's no way they could come close to the bounds of bond that would, the amount of money up front to cover a $75,000 bond. Now, I know that asking for a PR bond in a case like this is certainly a very big ask, but I think that there are conditions that could be placed on him to ensure his presence in court and ensure the safety of the community. So we would ask you to at least consider a PR bond. If the court is not inclined to grant a PR bond, then we would suggest a bond in the amount of $10,000, which I think would be sufficient to ensure his presence in court. In addition to that, as part of his initial magistration, the magistrate issued a strict house arrest on him, full house arrest with GPS monitoring. What we would ask for is to modify that to allow him time out to work. You heard testimony as to where he works and the type of nature of work that he does, and the fact that he does have a job waiting for him if he were to be released in the near future. We would also ask that any payments of these fees be waived as he is presently indigent, Your Honor. So we're asking that the relief be granted on both the motion and on the writ.
All right. So state, let's start first. With regards to GPS, do you have any objection to the GPS being partial to allow the defendant to work upon proof of employment and work schedule?
No, Judge, not upon proof of employment.
All right, then
Judge.
Now let's address the bond issue. State?
Yes, Judge. As far as the bond, the state believes that it is appropriate, sufficient where it is. It's a first-degree felony. You have evidence that this case, if indicted, will likely be enhanced because he is a repeater. So the minimum that he would serve if convicted, and the prior statute would be 15 years. You have the arrest warrant before you, where it's alleged that he went into a Wells Fargo and held someone up at gunpoint and took money. And so, based on the facts of the arrest warrant as well as his criminal history, we believe that anything lower would not be sufficient, and he would represent a danger to the community.
All right, defense, it's your motion, so the court will give you final argument.
Your Honor, Mr. Villarreal does have a prior criminal record. We haven't denied it. His wife testified to it. But even the judgment which the state has provided is a conviction from 2005. So we're talking about 15 years ago. We would ask that the fact that he's not been in trouble in the last 10 years, I think that goes to credit that he is not a continuing threat to the community, Your Honor. And that things such as alcohol and drug monitoring, GPS monitoring, curfews, weekly reporting, there are numerous things that the court could add in place to ensure that he is staying out of trouble, that he is not a danger to the community, Your Honor. So we think that it is true that he does have a past which the state could enhance him with, but I don't think that that should be used against him, at least to the nature of keeping him incarcerated, Your Honor. I think given the nature of the pandemic, there's certainly a risk to everybody's life with him just being in the Bexar County Jail, Your Honor. Would ask that he be allowed to go into the community, be a productive member of society, show you that he can follow rules, show you that he can come where he needs to go, Your Honor. So we're asking that you take all of that into consideration.
All right, with regards to the defense's motion to modify bond conditions as it relates to GPS, the court will allow partial house arrest. The defendant is allowed to travel to and from work. Fees will be waived, and the court will ask that the defendant be placed on indigent status. Mr. Garcia, my understanding is I really don't have jurisdiction to force them to waive fees, but I can place your client on indigent status, and hopefully they will at least give him a sliding scale or defer his fees for GPS. Then with regards to the motion for the writ seeking a reduction of bail, that will be denied. Is there anything else from either side?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, do you need to speak with your client?
No. Well, I think
All right,
he wants to speak with me. So yes, if I could get the break.
All right, sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 2, Mr. Villarreal. Mr. Garcia, once you finish speaking to your client, if you can have him come back to the main room, please.
Okay, I will, Judge.
Roy Barrera. Roy Barrera. All right, Alfonso Cabanas.
Hi, Judge. I came back from the breakout room with Mr. Aaron Trevino, and I just need a new date for his next court setting.
All right, Normo and Aaron Trevino, can I have a 30-day reset, please?
Yes, ma'am. 1 second, Judge. Sorry. They can come back on the 23rd, Judge.
All right, we'll see you and your client back on September 23rd. And
Yes, Your
Norman, can
Honor.
you let them know that Mr. Trevino?
I forgot to tell my lawyer one more thing. Is there any way I could talk to him?
Yes, and then after that, Norma, L11 can go back. So Mr. Trevino, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6 with your attorney.
Judge, can you hear me? It's Humberto.
Just one moment. Yes, Mr. Saldana.
Judge, I'm sorry, from this morning, Mr. Friend, he's been
Yes.
incarcerated 10 months. We were asking for a bond reduction per his request.
All
When
right,
we broke up-
has it been filed?
No, Judge, we have not. I don't know if I could, I don't even know if David Martin's still here, so we could talk to him, see if we could even get an agreement. If not,
All right,
we
if
could-
you want to email, chat Mr. Martin, I think he's still on the Zoom.
okay. Let me see if he'll be opposed. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, look, it did it. Yeah. You know what screen snip?
It's Monday. Joseph Acevedo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have?
Oh my God. Give me a second, Judge. I'm going through all kinds of papers.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to take up Vanessa Morales.
Jesus.
Who's on Vanessa Morales?
Thomas Hiller, ready?
Hunter Morris, Judge.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Judge.
All right, just give me a moment, Mr. Acevedo.
No problem.
Court is calling 2018 CR 2134, State of Texas versus Vanessa Lee Morales. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Thomas Hiller.
And are you Miss Morales? I'm going to need you to speak up. Are you Miss Morales?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Morales, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Vanessa Lee Morales who was placed on community supervision in 2018 CR 2134 for the offense of prostitution, third or more, on August 8, 2019 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, if I could see parties and a breakout room.
Yes, Judge.
I'll see you all in breakout room number 2. There's an issue with the judgment.
Your Honor.
She's in a breakout room.
Okay, thank you. Do you know today's date?
All right, Norma, can you let them know that 14C can go back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Garcia, if you have nothing else with us, you're excused. All righty. And Ms. Morales, we're going to take up your matter in just a moment. Who are the parties on Thomas DeMille? All right, Joseph Acevedo, who's your client?
Israel Castro.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Castro?
We still do not have a resolution.
All right, so you need to confirm a trial date. Am I correct?
I conferred. I have.
We still need to get a
in the
trial date
last
with
2
Norma,
weeks
Judge.
of October.
All right, so I'm going to send you all to a breakout room.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Ms. Ferguson so you all can get a jury trial date.
Okay.
So Ms. Ferguson, if you'll go to 7. And Joseph, if you'll go to 7. All right, who are the parties on Gabriel Hernandez? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Gabriel Hernandez.
Alfredo Ortiz, for the defendant, we're ready, Your Honor.
All right, who's the prosecutor?
Mr. Morris.
Which Hernandez is your client? Because we have more than one.
Gabriel Hernandez.
Gabriel Hernandez, if you could raise your hand for me, please.
He is not on the screen, Your Honor.
Is this your client, Gabriel Hernandez?
Yes, he is.
Sure, no problem. Is there a prosecutor available to take this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's the prosecutor who's available to take the plea?
Judge, I can step in. Joe Ray.
Thank you, Joe Ray. The court is calling 2021 CR 7641W, State of Texas versus Gabriel Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Alfredo Ortiz for the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Gabriel Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the
Okay,
pandemic.
Your Honor.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection for the defendants.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled
Yes, Your Honor.
Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
The
Your
court will
Honor.
find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear
Yes, Your
by
Honor.
video. Counsel, I'm going to show you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you reviewed all the discovery in this case with your client? And did
No,
you
Your Honor.
receive all the discovery from the state?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you
No,
what's
Your Honor.
entitled what's going on? Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering
I
this
believe
plea
so. That's
bargain
correct,
agreement, you were
Mr.
giving up
Am I
those
right?
rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051.
Yes, Your Honor.
26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm going to show you information. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the information as presented. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're being charged with by information is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment. Ms. Patterson, I sent you to breakout room number 2.
Just want to thank y'all. Thank you.
Back on the record, Mr. Hernandez, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Oh, yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 7 months in the state jail facility. There's a $0 fine. There are no applications. There's to be restitution of $57 for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am. I was gonna ask you if there was any way I could make a statement, ma'am. Can you let me know whenever I can give a chance to do that?
What statement are you reading?
No, I'm saying if there's any way I can say something.
Yes, I will give you a chance to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, there have not, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the information, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically
Thank you, Your
sign it
Honor.
in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand today that the state will be presenting
so much, Your
evidence
Honor.
in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor. We're waiving the PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're asking for the court to follow the plea bargain agreement that we have with the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, is there something you wish to say to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You know, I've been in and out of the system for 20 years of my life, man. And every time that I've gotten convicted of a crime, I've accepted punishment for what I've done. You know, and I found out yesterday that my mom is terminally ill from COVID-19. And I'm just wondering if there's any way that the court can have mercy on me and give me a chance, give me a lenient sentence or something so that I can be there for my mom if she passes away. You know,
All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Hernandez, I understand your issues and I'm sympathetic towards those issues. But the problem is that all of our actions have consequences. And this is one of the consequences of these actions that you've taken. So I'm going to follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 7 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a restitution of $57 for laboratory testing. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand? All right, with that, we'll close the record. Mr. Hernandez, you got to start making better decisions. Otherwise, you're going to wake up and you're going to have spent 40 years or majority of your life in prison. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, there are plenty of places that are free to you. So good luck to you. Norman, can you let them know 14M can go back? Are the parties ready on DeMille?
Yes, Your Honor.
Be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Who is the prosecutor?
Marcus Sanders.
Yes, Judge.
Brenna. It's doing that thing again. And you know what it is? You know what? I figured out what it is, Brenna. The co-hosts are putting it on speaker view instead of gallery view. Because whenever that happens, this is what happens. All righty, we're going to do it this way. Court is calling 2021 CR 4512, State of Texas versus DeMille Thomas. We have parties announced for the record for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense.
Cornelius Cox.
And are you Mr. Thomas? I need you to unmute for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
Oh, Your Honor.
Mr. DeMille, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, Mr. DeMille, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's. All right, the court is in receipt of a discovery acknowledgement. The discovery acknowledgement has not been signed by the defense.
Oh, gee.
So.
I signed.
Yeah. There we go. It's Monday, people. Cornelius, can I swear you in and you're going to tell me
Yes,
you
ma'am.
signed it?
I signed this well affirmed and testimony given this cause be truth, whole truth, none but truth, help me God. I reviewed it and I actually thought I signed it and sent it through.
All right.
We've had it and we discussed it and I've gotten all that I was entitled to.
All right, and I appreciate you saying that. And I do believe you.
I'll sign it.
But we need it signed.
I'll
So
sign it too.
All right, to the clerks, if you could send that back to defense counsel sign, please. Or state, can you send the acknowledgement of discovery to Mr. Cox?
Yes, Judge, I have a signed copy. I'll forward to you.
Thank you. All right, Brenda, we're back on the record.
So there was a signed copy then, right?
Yes.
Okay, see, Judge, I knew it was computer, it's a glitch in the system. Computer glitch.
This is what I have. I have an unsigned document before me.
That must be a duplicate, Judge. And remember the movie The Verdict? The original.
Yes, I do.
With,
I also remember the Minority Report. But all right, we're going to go back on the record. Defense, have you received all the discovery? Did you review that document, all of the discovery
Yes.
with your client?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Thomas, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Thomas, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your
Yes.
attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand? Just one moment. Did you understand what you're charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thomas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine probated, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 2020 CR 10273, restitution in 2020 CR 10273 of $3,000 to Claudia Lewis, LEWIS. No contact with Claudia Lewis and no contact with LaShawn, LASHON Robinson. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I know, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years,
Yes, ma'am.
that there be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, gang evaluation in CATS 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in, and how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offers States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Thomas, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call on the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after viewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just want the court to honor the plea agreement case, Judge. We worked hard. My client wants to prove to the court and to the community that he can get on and stay on the right road, Judge, and the right track. So we're asking the court to go ahead and sentence him today and grant his motion for this deferred adjudication.
All right, Mr. Thomas, anything you wish to say?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to thank you and try to take care of my life the right way and raise my children and be the best.
How old are you?
I'm 29 years old now.
How many children do you have?
I have two. I have a 1-year-old daughter that's getting ready to be 1 in October.
And how old is the other child?
He's 3.
All right, so why are you at the Bexar County Jail?
I'm at the Bexar County Jail because a mother, my stepson is the stepson that I have, my baby mom's other mom. I mean,
well, let's not say baby's mom. Let's say the mother of my child.
The mother of my child, yeah, you're right. The mother of my child, the other parents, I guess they don't like the fact that I'm raising the little son, my stepchild. So and she moved on with her life when we had another baby. So I guess it's a jealousy thing.
Well, I'm looking in your past or in your history, and they're saying there may be gang affiliation. So maybe they don't want somebody who has gang affiliation raising their child. Do you understand? Raising their grandchild. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm out of that type of lifestyle.
What? No. We're back to the point that it seems to me that you're presenting to the court, you have no earthly idea why someone will want you raising their grandchild. And I'm saying that they probably don't want a gang member or former gang member or person who says they're a former gang member raising their grandchild. So you see why they might have a problem with that?
Yes, ma'am.
So how far did you go in school?
I went to the 11th grade in school.
Do you have your GED?
No, ma'am, but I do want to go get it.
All right, so maybe the grandparents have a problem with somebody raising their child who didn't graduate from high school. Is this your only criminal case that you've been arrested for?
As far as a felony being an adult, yes.
The fact that you would say to me, as far as a felony, yes, That means that you have some other cases that you've been arrested for, correct?
Yes, as a juvenile, yes, ma'am.
So maybe they don't want someone who has juvenile cases raising their grandchild. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When's the last time you had full-time employment?
Before I came in, I was working, I was doing detailing on Austin Highway. I was doing detailing cars.
And how much, is that paying enough to support 2 children? I don't think so.
It really was. I had a home, I had a car with taking care of my children and my mother, the mother of my children. And I had the mother of my daughter was pregnant at the time, and I was doing everything I can to provide. I have a job lined up. If I get back to the world, I have a job lined up that's positive, and I have positive things I can do in my life.
The court is going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine, that'll be probated. Affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Taking consideration 2020 CR 10273. No contact with Claudia Lewis, LaShawn Robinson. Gang evaluation. Cats 1 and 2. 150 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive 40 hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine shot. Here's the thing about that. Not ordering anybody to do it. You cannot do it or do it if you want to. But if you do it, you complete the protocols, then the court will waive 40 hours of community service restitution.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to want random field visits 3 times per month. Proof of employment
Yes, ma'am.
within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minor children. Regular Zoom reporting. If you can't report by Zoom, then it has to be in person.
No.
Random UAs. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Thomas, from here on out, anything that you do, you need to ask yourself, will these actions potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room with probation. Probation will go over conditions with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I may have missed it. Did you order the 3,000 in restitution?
No, you did not miss that. Thank you very much. Back on the record, Brenna. And there's to be $3,000 restitution to Claudia Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in cause number 2020 CR 10273. And Mr. Thomas, you're not allowed to smoke marijuana, use marijuana in any shape, form, or fashion while you're on this probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Mr. Cox, you can go to breakout room with probation and they'll go over conditions with your client. Then you will be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, if I may.
No, you may not. Stop interrupting people, please.
Judge, may I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Judge.
So if you all could go to number 5, please.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Judge, I'll be right back.
Thank you, Brenna. Mr. Hobbs, you have your hand up.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that my client signed the documents, but he also said there was an error message. So I'm hoping to see if one of the clerks can confirm whether or not it was sent over, or we need to somehow start from scratch.
I don't see anything on Tristan. Robert, can you check to see if there was anything done on Tristan? Because it says error. All right, thank you. They'll check with you. And what I'll do is you'll go back to that breakout room. Number 4, I'll send Robert into breakout room number 4, and he can
Perfect.
let you know.
Sounds good. Thank you, Judge. Francisco, go and hit that breakout room button and it should bring you back to number 4.
All right. Roy Barrera, are you here? Roy Barrera. Okay. And Joseph Acevedo, do you have your court date?
We have a date, October 15th, Your Honor.
And who is your client again, Mr. Acevedo?
Israel Castro.
All right. Brenna's taking a short break. When she comes back, we'll put that on the record.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Brenna, we're going to go on the record. And cause number 2019 CR 6497B, State of Texas versus Israel Castro. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Joseph Acevedo.
All right, and Mr. Castro, could you speak up for me, please? Israel Castro.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
There's no objection from the defense. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Castro, do you have any objection with this hearing taking place by video?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Acevedo, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I can't say I've received it all. I'm not privy to what is everything, but I have received discovery.
And the
I'm
court
not
will
sure
note.
if there's anything supplemented or.
All right. And the court will note for the record, the court is in receipt of an acknowledgement of discovery dated October 24th, 2019. Mr. Acevedo, did you receive an offer from the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Castro, is the court's understanding is that you're rejecting that offer, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And both parties have had a chance to confirm a jury trial date. And my understanding is that jury trial will be scheduled for October 15th. Is that correct, state?
Correct.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Acevedo, do you have any objections to October 15th as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Castro, any objections to October 15th as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Your jury trial date will be October 15th at 9 a.m. and the 187 District Court located at 300 De La Rosa. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. The court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when is your court date?
My court date is October 15th at the 187th District Court at 300 De La Rosa at 9 a.m., Your Honor.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. All right, with that, we will close the record. And both Mr. Acevedo, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who are the parties on Jose Rizzo Sanchez?
That would be me, Your Honor. Daniel De La Garza.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 6566, State of Texas versus Jose Rizzo Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joey Garcia.
For the
Daniel De La
defense?
Garza. Sorry, Your Honor. Daniel De La Garza.
All right, and who is Jose Rizzo Sanchez? All right. Could you state your name, Jose Rizzo Sanchez?
Rizzo Sanchez.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
Objections.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm going to show you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rizzo, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
So, yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is assault, family choking, strangulation? That's a third-degree felony, and the range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Any defenses?
Yes.
No, Your Honor. Unfortunately not.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, Your Honor. Permanent resident.
Counsel, did you advise the defendant of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
I did, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or denial of naturalization?
It did, Your Honor. And I went a step further and told him that this particular offense is a will be deported, not could be. So yes, we did have that conversation.
And do you believe he understands the consequences of entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Mr. Sanchez, did your counsel advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the consequences of entering a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, all of these documents are in English. Were you able to understand and review all these documents in English?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. The state will take in consideration County Court Cause number 651295, NIBAG number 753187, 620399. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. No contact with Vanessa Sanchez. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. I just thought of something. Can I address it real quick on the
Yes.
on the no contact? They have children together, so can we do no harmful or injurious? That complainant was living in Mr. Sanchez's house with his parents for through the pendency of this case. That's where some of those TIC cases come in, Your Honor. But she's moved out now to her parents, but they do have children together. So I think no harmful or injurious would probably be beneficial for, so they can co-parent.
Well, I haven't read the stipulated evidence yet, so I can't tell you whether or not I will allow for no contact or no harmful or injurious contact. But according to the parole evidence rule, the plea bargain agreement is within the four corners of the document. So are you all changing the agreement or no?
Well, I mean, for purposes of the plea, no, Judge. I mean, we're okay with what's happening, but I just thought of it that they have children together, so it's whatever the court.
No,
wants
I mean it's well, according to the plea bargain agreement, there's to be no contact with Vanessa Sanchez.
Okay, then that's fine.
All right, thank you. All right, state is that the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be 100 hours of community service restitution in the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Please, Your Honor, yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just that we would ask that you follow the plea bargain agreement, Your Honor. And then now that I'm thinking about it, I think my request was a little premature. So now that you've read the stipulated evidence and have gone through the plea bargain agreement, we would ask that the no contact order be changed to no harmful injurious. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Garza, if you could take down my ruling and be sure to give that to the probation officer who's going to be in the breakout room, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will sentence you to a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Taking consideration County Court cause number 651295, night mag number 753187 and 620399. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, 2 years deferred adjudication, the BIPP course, 100 hours of community service restitution, 40 hours will be waived if you obtain the COVID vaccine. Again, I'm not forcing anyone to do that. But if you do that, 40 hours will be waived. Proof of employment, within 30 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minor children, regular Zoom reporting. If you can't report by Zoom, then it needs to be in person. Regular UAs or patch. Random field visits. 2 times per month. No contact with Vanessa Sanchez until further notice. Parenting classes. And CPS compliance if applicable. Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it? Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because there is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5 with your attorney, and probation will go over conditions with you. And Mr. De La Garza, if you'll just put that in the chat box when you get in that breakout room, she'll be able to read that.
And Judge, briefly, there may have been a clerical error on the numbers for the night mag. Numbers I have are 620401 and 620399.
I don't have any of those numbers. What are the numbers?
I may have put the grand jury numbers. It's 620401 and 620399.
All right, so on the record, the cases that will be taken in consideration are night mag numbers 62041 and 620399.
In the first one, 620401.
620
401.
401.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry about that.
No problem. It's Monday. All right, Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5. And if you'll go there with your attorney, the probation officer will go over conditions. Who are the parties on Vanessa Morales?
Thomas Hiller.
All right, we're back on the record, and thank you. We're back on the record in 2018 CR 2134 for the state.
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Thomas Hiller.
All right, the court hasn't received the judgment not pro tunc to correct the judgment. Have both parties had a chance to review that?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the correction? State?
None from the state.
Defense?
None from defense, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Morales, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Ms. Morales, you need to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I reviewed it.
Are you the same Vanessa Lee Morales who was placed on community supervision in 2018 CR 2134 for the offense of prostitution, 3rd or more, as a repeater on August 8, 2019 for a term of 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. On or about the 3rd day of December 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Vanessa Lee Morales, another failed to comply with the rules and regulations of Esperanza Court, and that the defendant remained a fugitive for more than 60 days in violation of Condition 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Morales, Ms. Morales, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you to 5 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 41?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. The state would ask this court to reform the judgment to 3 years underlying and sentence the defendant to 3 years TDC.
Is that the agreement, defense?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Morales, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will follow the agreement, sentence you to 3 years in prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Ms. Morales, you got to make some changes in your life. Otherwise, who knows what end up happening? You may end up getting killed by someone that you're picking up. If there's a drug issue, there are plenty of places that you can get help with your drug habit for free. If there are other issues, there are plenty of places where you can get that taken care of for free. I don't think any little girl or anyone grows up and say this is what they want to do for a living, right?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Morales. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, Norma, can you let them know number 12 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Melvin Jones, Mr. Porter.
Hey, Judge.
Hi, it's been a long day, I know. Sorry.
Yes, we've conferred. We have a trial date, and we just need to put it on the record, Judge.
All right, when is your trial date?
October 25th.
All right. Court is calling 2020 CR 8810, 2020 CR 11654, 2021 CR 2489, State of Texas versus Melvin Todd Jones. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Senator Morris?
For the defense?
Robert Porter.
And are you Mr. Jones?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state or the defense?
None from the state, Judge.
None from defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you receive an offer from the state?
We did.
Mr. Jones, are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, my understanding parties have conferred on a jury trial date. That jury trial date will be October 21st, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the 187th District Court, 4th floor, 300 De La Rosa. Mr. Jones, if you're in custody, you will be brought over dressed. If you're not in custody, you will need to come to court dressed. Any objections to October 25th, 2021 as a jury trial date? State?
None, Judge.
Judge, I'm
Yes.
sorry. It has to change to October 15th, not the 25th.
It's Monday.
Thank you.
Brenda, it's a Monday. Defense, do you have any objections to October 15th as a jury trial date?
Your Honor, I don't, but in conferring with the state of Texas, this is the special prosecutors, and I believe they had a trial set that week, and that's why we chose the week after that.
All right, who's the special prosecutor?
It was Caitlin Will.
All right, Hunter, can you have Caitlin zoom back in here, please?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. Porter. All right, Norma, who's the attorney for Rogelio Cardoza?
Let me check, Judge.
It's after 5 and we're still here. I can't believe it. Brenda, I'm sorry. Mr. Cardoza, who's your attorney?
Andrew
Andrew who?
Alcueto.
All right, Norma, recall Mr. Cardoza for a different date, please. What date is he coming back on?
I can do Thursday. Wednesday, I can do Wednesday.
Mr. Cardoza, you're going to be coming back on Wednesday, and your attorney will be here at that time.
Okay,
Thank you for your patience.
thank you. Agalina?
Yes, we'll bring you back on August 25th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Wilkes, you need to go to a breakout room and confer with the defense on a trial date, please. I'll send you all to breakout room number 2.
Thank you. I believe we already came up with a date.
October 15th?
Yes. It was October, well, it was
No, it was October
the end
25th.
of October.
No, you asked for October 25th. This court doesn't have a jury available on October 25th.
What is the
I'm going to send you all to
date?
breakout room number 2.
Okay.
Ms. Ferguson, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Norma, on Tristan, we're ready on Tristan. Court is calling 2020 CR 8979, State of Texas versus Francisco Tristan. Do I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Colin Hobbs, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Tristan?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Tristan, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this court, and did you review it with your client?
I believe so, Your Honor, and yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, Mr. Tristan, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
State moves to waive the habitual enhancement paragraph, Your Honor.
No
Any
objection, Your Honor.
objections? Mr. Tristan, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with? Assault, family choking, strangulation. That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, I have. I'm not going to waste your time.
Did you understand by just 1 second? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Tristan, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Oh, yeah. I'm satisfied.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
See, yes, ma'am.
All right, it's Monday. The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, the habitual enhancement paragraph is to be waived. Punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's $0 fine, no applications, affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with Valentina Torres. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
He's pleading no contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Torres, I'm sorry, Mr. Tristan, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 4 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Valentina Torres. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Right. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, and also because it's a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Tristan, good luck to you. Mr. Tristan, you're going to have to learn. You've got to keep your hands to yourself. You can't be hitting people in anger. If you have anger issues, there are plenty of places that will help you with that for free. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Norma, can you let them know that 14G can go back, please?
And Judge, I know it's mostly automatic, but I know he asked about it. Can you also go ahead and order that he gets all back time that he's due?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a good day, Judge.
Thank you, you too.
I'll be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Good luck.
All right, you too. All right, what date do we have on Melvin Jones for jury trial?
November 1st, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 8810, 2020 CR 11654, 2021 CR 2489. We're going back on the record. Defense, is there any objection to November 1st as a jury trial date?
No objection, Your Honor.
State, any objection to November 1st as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
And standing in for the state is Caitlin Wilkes. Mr. Jones, your new jury trial date will be November 1st, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the 187th District Court. We're located at 300 De La Rosa on the 4th floor. If you are released from custody, you'll need to appear in court on November 1st. However, if you are at the Bexar County Jail, you will be brought over dressed for trial. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after this date. If you decide to enter a plea, it will have to be open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones, when is your jury trial?
November 1st at 9 o'clock at 187 court.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll close
Have
the
a good-
record. No, thank you. You have a great rest of your day. Norma, can you let them know that 14L can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Porter, for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you. Kyle Ernst. All right, the court is going to stop live stream and we will start again tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Or
Yes.
Judge, sorry, my phone was on the charger.
Yes.
For Francisco Rocha,
What is happening with Francisco Rocha?
so we have a date. He has rejected any and all offers. The date is on 11/17.
Mr. Rocha is not on the Zoom screen.
He
That's
was
the problem. So I don't know where Mr. Rocha is.
He's under King Lion Boy.
yeah, there he is. He has the headphones on.
Yes, sorry about that.
Yes, you need to start changing your name because 1, you're not a king. 2, you're not a lion. 3, this is not the Lion King.
I didn't put them, and that's from my my email address. It just popped up automatically. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I just don't think the Lion King would appreciate that. All right, what's the court date?
November 17th.
All right, we're going to go on the record, and this is the last case. Court is calling 2021 CR 3952, State of Texas versus Francisco Rocha. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the
And
defense?
Kyle Ernst for Mr. Rocha.
Are you Mr. Rocha?
I am the creditor of Mr. Rocha, yes.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No objection.
Mr. Rocha, any objection to us proceeding by video?
Well, I haven't signed anything by video, but I'm allowed to go on, yes.
My question to you, and I want you to listen to my question.
Yes.
My question is, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video? That's either yes or no.
No.
Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rocha, your plea deadline date in this case has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. If you wish to enter into a plea, it will have to be open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
Defense and state, have you conferred on a jury trial date?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor. We have
And what date will that be?
November 17th.
Any objections to either party as November 17th as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
No objections.
Mr. Rocha, you need to be in court on November 17th at 9 a.m. dressed for jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes.
Court is located at 300 De La Rosa, 187 District Court. Do you understand?
Yes.
When is your trial date?
November 17th.
Which court?
The 187th court, 300 De La Rosa.
All right, thank you. With that, we'll go off the record.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
All right, the court is going to stop live stream. I think Tuesday is going to be a better day